Hi, dear friends. Welcome back to Akshadari. I am Devraj. Today is August 5th, 2023. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅನ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ವೀಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಪೇಪರನ್ನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸನ್ನು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರೋರು ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್. ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರೋರು ಪ್ರವೇಶಾತಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ಗೆ. So I hope you guys are learning great and earning great. So before going to start this session, so if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel and like and comment for more videos related to health education and personal issues, especially in the field of education. So I hope you guys are doing great and enjoying the weekend. So let's start today's paper reading. Yes guys, let's start today's paper reading. Sometimes it would show like this. Opposition continues protest over Manipur. Uttarakhand landslip claims 3 lives. DGFT suspends laptop import curbs till November 1st. SC stays Rahul's conviction for Modi's surname remark. It says the Surat court failed to give even one reason for sentencing Congress leader to 2-year jail term that resulted in his disqualification as MP. However, it adds the remark was not in good taste. Reinstate him as fast as he was disqualified. Those misusing BPL cards will face action. School principal arrested for raping 10-year-old student. Drinking water crisis in at 110 villages on the city outskirts. BBMP to drill bore wells in the villages to address the shortage delay in onset of monsoon season. BBMP official arrested for accepting bribe from builder to issue Khata. The complaint said Nagara Atraj had sought bribe of 10,000 to issue a Khata for each of the 79 plots of Brindavan apartments totaling to 7.9 lakh and had demanded an advance of 5 lakh. Youth drowns at SCI facility on university campus. Disruption in power supply tomorrow. 4 officials of Whitefield CEN police station suspended. 4 officials of Whitefield cybercrime economic offences and narcotics police station, including its inspector, who now have a FIR in Kerala over bribery allegations, have been suspended from service pending inquiry. City Police Commissioner B. Dahananda suspended them from service Thursday night, sources said. Whitefield CN Police Station Inspector Shivaprakash and 3 other personnel attached with the station head Constable Vijay Kumar and Shivani and Constable Sandesh, all of whom are suspended now, had been to Kerala to investigate a cybercrime as case involving cryptocurrency. They tracked down alleged suspects Naushad, Nikhil and Akhil and allegedly demanded 4 lakh bribe to let them go from the case. However, they complied to the local police who registered an FIR against the 4 police officials, interrogated them and let them go on the condition that they appear for inquiry when called. Water tank crash at Shivajinagar. BBMP 6 report from engineer. Man making bombs to kill pigs injured in accidental blast at home at Aravalli. Symposium on handmade fabric. 13 villas in Rainbow Drive layout face demolition after HCR. A resident says the builder has to pay compensation to those whose houses will be lost, as it was he who had sold the plot. Veena concert by Vishweshwaran today. International Students Day at St. Joseph University. Forest book Suo case against VHP leaders. Hand in real estate. With financial support from venture capital funds and angel investors, young entrepreneurs can be taught to navigate the challenges and complexities of the sector, says Anvi Avnish Sood. Specialized courses and certifications and programs that focus on specific areas that such as property management, real estate finance, or urban planning would prove useful. Luxury segment housing sales rise by 130% YO in June to June 23. We anticipate a stronger second half of 2023 in the residential market, supported by factors such as a healthy supply pipeline, the approaching festive season, and stabilizing mortgage rates. Government restores 9,000 dropped seats in engineering courses. Seats restored subject to the condition that colleges comply with obtaining the necessary no objection certificate or approval by competent authority. Option entry process for all professional courses to commence on August 5. Fasting out paid up 5 first batch of 756 Agniveer is held. Man who assaulted two policemen arrested. Drone surveillance at select SSLC exam centers in state. So here is the admission, the notice for post graduation, graduate common entrance test. So who had qualified for MBA, MCA, ME, or MTech courses. One 12 human casualties owing to elephant attacks in last 4 years. Chamrajangar witnessed the highest number of fatalities. Other districts with notable casualties include Kodagu and Asan. Four districts are a part of National Family Planning Program's pilot on introduction of New contraceptive options. BBMP not keen on AI camera proposal to tackle black spots in Bangalore. Draupadi Murmu to arrive in Mysore today. Yeah. BJP warns upsteer if Dalit welfare funds are not restored. Well-to-do people possessing BPL cards will face action after Probe Muniappa. Ministers say inquiry will be held based on details available with the Food and Civil Supplies Department. Final fixture likely in a week. Dinesh Gundurao says Mohalla clinics of Delhi are overhyped. Transfers faculty with serious ailments failed to make the cut. Government appeal against extending BHC scheme to stop up private firms dismissed. Officials given targets to clear government land encroachments. CPI leader Denise terming deities as mites. Mami Govindan seeks to clarify party's position. The Congress and the BJP triumphantly interpret his latest take on the debate as a cringing about face. Both the parties wanted to use it as a political prod to goad Kerala Assembly Speaker Shamsheer into apologizing publicly and putting the dispute to rest. NSS moves Kerala HC to quash criminal cases. As Karnataka to release water due to Tamil Nadu, Chief Minister Stalin urges PM. The nations of the Hiroshima must not drift away. So let's read this 12 page. The author of India's nuclear debate. America's pursuit of Saudi Israel rapprochement. Let's read this 12 page. This is as written by Priyanjali Malik. The lessons of Hiroshima must not drift away. The morning of August 6, 1945 dawned clear and sunny as the Enola Gay wheeled over Hiroshima and dropped its payload on the city center. The 15 KT UN bomb exploded 600 meters above the Hiroshima perpetual industrial promotion hall, instantly flattening everything and everyone below. Only the skeletal structure of the hall remained, bearing witness to the moment when our beliefs about weapons and wars changed. The concept of deterrence. In the intervening 78 years, we have witnessed the rise and fall of nuclear threats. The concept of nuclear deterrence attracted the sharpest minds in countries that both possessed nuclear weapons and abjured them, especially as nuclear weapons became more powerful. It became clear that any nuclear use would be a global problem. This allowed a parallel development to occur, even as nuclear weapons states developed even more destructive nukes. A taboo against their actual use began to develop. The political scientist Nina Tannenwald has defined the nuclear taboo as a coalescing norm against using nuclear weapons because these weapons are seen as so behind the pale that there are almost no circumstances in which their use can be justified. Crucially, this taboo extends across the whole class of weapons, regardless of their yield, leading to a blanket prohibition of use that each passing year reimposes. However, this taboo has no legal basis. It rests on ideas of morality, proportionality, and responsibility. The taboo is grounded firmly in our treating nuclear weapons as different. Nuclear weapons, in Bernard Brody's celebrated phrase, are the absolute weapon. This special treatment is grounded not so much in the power of the atomic bomb. We are able to dial up or down the destructive capability of modern nukes, and we have developed conventional munitions that rival some nuclear destructiveness, or even in the ability to flatten a city in moments. The special status of nuclear weapons rests on the continually reaffirmed knowledge gained from the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki that nuclear weapons are indiscriminate and do not distinguish between combatants and non-combatants. They contaminate the environment for decades, and the effects of radiation are felt for generations. There are people in Japan still living with the consequences of August 1945. Testing these nations. Events since Russia's invasion of Ukraine have tested our nation's notions of deterrence and the taboo. Russian President Vladimir Putin has issued several veiled and not so veiled nuclear threats, ranging from reminding the world of Russia's nuclear weapons status at the start of the war against Ukraine on February 24, 2022, to ordering Russia's nuclear forces into a special regime of combat duty a few days later, which left analysts scrambling to decode what that formulation might mean, to declaring in September 2022 that Russia was prepared to make use of all weapon systems available to them. This is not a blurb. Dmitry Medvedev, currently deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russia, and others have echoed Mr. Putin's threats. 38 years after the leaders Ronald Reagan of the United States and Mikhail Gorbachev of the Soviet United Union declared that a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. And less than a year after Mr. Putin and President Joe Biden reaffirmed this pledge in June 2021, Russia was raising the specter of nuclear Armageddon in Europe. Future historians will decide how credible these threats were. Potentially, September and October 2022 might come to be regarded as a time when the nuclear taboo was tested almost to the breaking point, following battlefield reversals in the late summer and Mr. Putin's declaration that Russia was prepared to use all weapons systems available. Speculation arose about whether Russia might use a tactical nuclear weapon, and if so, where and how. This was dangerous on multiple accounts. To begin with, this conjecture risked creating expectations of its own that might have pushed the Russian leaders to behave in a certain way. Loose talk about what sort of nuclear weapons might be acceptable to send a message also risked undermining the nuclear taboo. And finally, there is still no consensus on what constitutes a tactical nuclear weapon. Battlefield tactical weapons are as opposed to strategic weapons are delivered over shorter distances and are smaller than strategic weapons. But behind that, there is significant variability in yield depending on the delivery method. The US, for example, has tactical weapons ranging from a fraction of 1 kT to 170 kT. The bomb that fell on Hiroshima was for 15 kT. It would be beyond insulting to the memory of estimated 70,000 people who died immediately, and the many tens of thousands of Ibakusha who have lived with the consequences of that bomb, to suggest that this was just a small tactical weapon. The responses there is, however, room for hope in the official responses by the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and other nuclear weapons states to Mr. Putin's saber rattling and the subsequent speculation. The US was at the forefront on this, and what it did is as important as what it did not do. What did not do? Washington made it abundantly clear that any nuclear use would be met with a very strong and commensurate response. However, it did not specify that the response would be nuclear, quite the opposite, as it emphasized a calibrated conventional response to any nuclear adventurism at NATO's doorstep. The US also did not exchange its nuclear preparedness, thereby not fueling the nuclear speculation building up in Europe. Crucially, in November, even China's President Xi Jinping called on the international community to jointly oppose the use of a threat to use nuclear weapons. that nuclear crisis paused, but the world could still be held hostage to Russia's movement of tactical nuclear weapons to Belarus. As to Minsk invitation, like Ukraine, Belarus gave up its nuclear weapons in the 1990s in return for the security guarantees from Russia. The US and the United Kingdom reversing that agreement now seems a pointless provocation, high on symbolism and risk. At the height of the Cold War, there were almost 70,000 nuclear weapons scattered around the globe, either in storage or deployed. Some on haste air trigger warnings that we avoided a nuclear exchange is down in part to the lessons of the Hiroshima, and in part to sheer dumb luck, as the history of near misses throughout the Cold War demonstrates. As an insurance policy, it is not much. Let's go to the next page. America's pursuit of Israel's approachment. America's pursuit of Israel, Saudi Israel is a very rapprochement. The proverbial propensity of the Middle East to spring surprises is on call again. This time is as it is about the chances of success of dogged, albeit quite United States diplomacy to reconcile two regional powerhouses with Saudi Arabia and Israel. Ironically, this quest by the Biden administration is taking place under challenging circumstances. The White House has had tepid relations with leaders of both countries, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman. Mr. Netanyahu heads an extreme right-wing coalition determined to accelerate the Jewish settlements in the occupied West Bank and curb that judiciary's independence. The US strongly opposes both. Under the Saudi Crown Prince, initially ostracized by the Biden administration for his alleged involvement in the Jamal Khashoggi murder, the kingdom has been nonchalant towards Washington. Saudi initiatives. After nearly 8 decades of the US Saudi Energy for Security Compact of 1945, Riyadh has been assiduously diversifying its strategic options. It has reconciled, at least tactically, with its arch enemy Iran through a Chinese mediation. Hosted the Chinese president for three summits in Riyadh. President Xi Jinping met separately with his counterparts in Saudi Arabia, the Gulf Cooperation Council, and the Arab countries cooperated with Russia under the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries Plus rubric for higher oil prices and facilitated the return of Syria to the Arab fold. All these in four and your face Saudi initiatives challenge the US interests. They deserve President Joe Biden's bid for re-election next year. Against this obstructive backdrop, the White House has waged a concerted campaign to persuade Saudi Arabia to normalize its relations with Israel. The proposal has been on the Saudi table since November 2020, when Saudi Crown Prince and Mr. Netanyahu had an unpublicized meeting in Neom, Saudi Arabia, in the presence of the then US Secretary of the State, Mike Pompeo. It has gained traction in recent months with the US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and the US Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken visiting Saudi Arabia to be received by the Saudi Crown Prince. While the Saudi have not rejected the idea out of hand, they have reportedly put forth daunting preconditions said to include the North Atlantic Treaty organizations like US security guarantees, access to advanced American weapon systems, approval for the acquisition of civilian nuclear technology and an Israel commitment to a process leading to a two-state solution with the Palestinians. The specifics are under negotiations among the three tight-lipped stakeholders, a convergence but with different motives. While the US, Saudi Arabia, and Israel may have converged at the proposed reconciliation, their respective motives differ. First, the Biden administration, deeply concerned with the growing ingress by China and Russia in the Middle East, wants to re-entrench the Pax Americana over the region by bringing two traditionally pro-West regional players together. It also feels that fostering such a reconciliation would ingratiate Mr. Biden with the two MIFID leaders. Lastly, the Purple Jewish lobby gratitude would help Mr. Biden win the US presidential election this year. Saudi Arabia, under the Saudi Crown Prince, has adopted an assertive and ambitious foreign policy commensurate with its oil wealth to become primus inter pace for the region and emerge as an important global player. By reconciling with Israel, it takes away the first movers advantage that the United Arab Emirates has had for the past 3 years as a member of the Abraham Accords. Moreover, diplomatic ties with Israel would balance the kingdom's recent reconciliation with Iran and Syria and help it emerge as a more nationalist power than an Islamic one. Despite its moves, Riyadh needs a stronger US security commitment and access to Israeli technology. The Saudi Crown Prince may, however, need to mitigate the skepticism about Israel at home and within Al Saud. For Israel, a star of David flying in Riyadh would be a major geopolitical victory, symbolizing its final acceptance as a legitimate Jewish state by the center of Islam after 75 years as a national regional outcast. Given the kingdom's trend-setting role as the custodian of Islam's two holy shrines, the Riyadh Tel Aviv detente would herald Israel's integration with the Arab Islamic world. It would provide direct air and land access to Asia, enabling better leveraging of the economic opportunities as the economic center of gravity shifts eastwards. The wider impact, the global fallout from such a development would be quite profound. The Islamic mainstream would likely follow the Saudi lead, with countries such as Pakistan and Indonesia in the first row. However, it would further marginalize the Palestinian cause and may polarize and radicalize them and other opponents of Israel such as Iran and Syria, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Islamic State. Having invested considerably diplomatic capital in this quest, the US may eventually succeed despite the formidable odds, particularly as the Israeli government would have to moderate some of its hard-held policies. Saudi Israeli rapprochement would have a mildly positive impact on India. It would remove a contradiction in India's regional policy and better align Saudi Arabia with us. It may open opportunities as the US pushes back China from the region, but then it may also give Israeli reasons to hyphenate India with Islamic countries, including Pakistan. A tentative reaching GST Council's retake on gaming bets does not provide enough certainty. Incremental injustice, motivated cases for altering status of places of worship must be discouraged. This in the shadow of the Millennium City. Over the years, right-wing groups have kept the atmosphere communally charged in and around Gurugram. The first step is to provoke Muslims by either attacking them or defending them their religion as to a point where a confrontation takes place. Alice conducts business even as opposition continues protest. Bills on IIM's inter-services organizations posit opposition after taking part in debate on Delhi Services Bill. On Thursday, returns to sloganeering. Truce on Manipur debate in Raris breaks down over dates. Heated debate in LS and Delhi Services Bill. Opposition slams government over Lekhi's ED remarks. ISO bill paves way for more integration of three services. Delhi excise policy scam case. Delhi defers Sisodia bail plea. Home Secretary Ajay Balla receives fourth extension. House panel bats for lowering minimum age to contest pose. Restore Rahul's LS membership immediately, urge Congress leaders. Congress leader in Lok Sabha Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary meets the Speaker to press for immediate restoration of membership. Party hopes former chief can take part in no confidence motion debate. Truth had to come out someday, says Rahul. India leaders welcome SC verdict on Rahul Gandhi. Call it a victory of judiciary. This will further strengthen the resolve of the India alliance to unitedly fight for our motherland and win. Trial judge failed to reason why maximum punishments was served to Rahul, says SC. The plethora of SC judgment hold that right reason is an indispensable part of a sound judicial system. Members of UDF celebrate in Wayanad 4 years on silence remarks a hearing on Article 317J and KPM to lay foundation stone for revamp of Wayanad 5 railway stations. 3 killed, 7 missing as landslides shops on Kedarnath route. Nepali shop owners, their families, and tourists are among those missing in incident near the Yatra base camp. Uttarakhand CM Dami directs that arrangements be made for stranded pilgrims. SC dismisses plea challenging Goyal's appointment as EEC. SC appoints former Delhi SC judge as DE as interim chief. Nursing students can opt to study foreign language. 3 army men killed in encounter in Kulgam. Shara investors get the first tranche of refunds. NI registers complimentary charge sheet against 4 in PFI case. Hindi is not in competition with local languages, says Amit Shah. Chirumantiram's greatness. Palestinian very 18 years old killed in West Bank by Israeli forces. 8 persons killed as freight trains collides with a truck in Thailand. China to remove tariffs on Australian barley as ties improve. Romania court lifts house arrest order of Andrew Tate and brother. Russian warship damaged as Ukraine targets Black Sea port with drones. Court temporarily halts Imran's trial over sale of state gifts. Pakistan passes bill to meet PTB demands. Mutinous soldier in Niger severe French military ties while war stage president pleads for US help. DGFT suspends its laptop PC import caps till November 1st. Official acknowledged that customs field officials have held up some transit hardware shipments due to the DGFT import restriction notification specifying immediate effect. Imports will now be allowed without a need for a license till November. Apple logs a revenue record in India on robust iPhone sales. SBI Q1 net almost triples to 16,884 crore and loan growth. M&M Q1 net surges 60% to 3,508 crore. Personal data bill will boost digital economy, says NASCOM. DPDB is a giant step forward towards establishing India as a trusted innovation partner for the world. I heard AI lets insurers board HDFC investment still maturity. Wipro ups the ante to expand food business. England top order batter Ailes hangs up his boots. ICC finds WI India for slow over rate in first T20I. Crawley keen to test badge ball approach in India next year. Karim Rimzi first saw Dhoni's brilliance when he played first for Bihar. Harmanpreet saves India's blush as Japan Pro sequel. Abdul Hanan Anand leap from a teenage star to senior side. Marik takes Wo out fourth seed Katarnia. Branch for Jyoti Yarachanda Amlan Borgohain. India makes history at the Award Archery Championship. Jyoti Surekha, Puneet, Parneet Kaur and Aditi Swami after their gold medal winning effort. No concerns around long tail, Harshadip. Mouth-watering fixtures beckon as the knockout begins. Switzerland will take on Spain in the first last 16 match. Group C topper Japan meets Norway in a heavyweight clash for former and with world champions. Andy Plover to coach Royal Challenger Bangalore. Abhiram to helm State Cricket Selection Committee. Stirling to lead Ireland for India T20I. Fartib tricks for Northeast United FC. Pramod Sukant to start fourth tournament with wins. Why did Bajwal fail to regain the Ashes? Up against a great Australian side, England discovered that there is an essential limit to the competitive advantage Bajwal offers because it is an approach for the most part to batting and its bowling that typically wins the test matches and series. As much as they have dominated certain parts of the game, it is still not have been good enough to get these nose in front of the series. India's young archers battle adversity to hit the target. This is the Saturday Sports page. This is the guys. Hi, this is the last page. I hope you guys will read the newspaper up to 2 hours to make you better yourself in communication. So I'm going to end today's video and please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to health, education and personal issues, especially in the field of education. So see you in the upcoming videos guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.